Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna do a quick intro, and explanation, of this vivarium setup for my Crested gecko candy. Candy's in here because when I would give all the geckos, I almost said grasshoppers, when I'd give the geckos their crickets, then sometimes her tail would get mistaken for a cricket. And it really bothered me, and so when this tank became empty after I built my community tank, then I decided to put her in here so she wouldn't lose her tail, which is working out really good. She seems really happy. She moves around a lot. Yeah, so that's good. So this is a 18 by 18 by 24 Exoterra, glass vivarium setup. It's got the mesh top and then these two doors and the ventilation holes. The soil in here is actually made for frogs, but it's really sandy, but also holds humidity really well. So it's working awesome for her. In the bottom here, I have the hydro balls, and then the mesh, and then the soil itself. I've got two kinds of pothos in here. I've got this broad-leaved, kind of waxy-looking pothos. And then I want to say this is a dwarf type of pothos. Or it may be like English ivy. I can't remember what it is. And for some reason, it's not growing all that much. It's not dying, but it's not spreading out like the pothos. I don't know if it's just because the pothos has such big leaves and the light can't get to it, or what. But yeah, so I got this pothos kind of twisted around all in there. In the back, actually, you can see Candy back there. In the back. She likes to hang out back there. But I actually have a bromeliad. Actually, it kind of looks pretty sickly right now. It's got a lot of browning leaves and stuff. And that's because, I didn't notice it. I thought this dirt's really dark. So it's really hard to tell when it needs water. But I tried to pull up one of these and stick it back in the dirt somewhere else, and it was like rock solid. So, it needed water. So, I'm checking it more frequently now, and making sure it has water. And I also felt like it wasn't getting enough light, because when I had a heat lamp on here from the graninoles, then these plants, like, skyrocketed. Like, I had to cut them back, like, maybe twice a month, which is a lot. But once I took that heat lamp off, then they kind of just stopped growing. So I have this. It's a mini dome. It's not the what's it called? I think it's called a helix dome, which is my heat domes I have. And it's just got a normal, like, ceiling light in it. So it's not very hot. Like, it's not hot at all, actually. But I'm sure it does bring the temperature up slightly in here, but not enough to where it's going to bother Candy. And it gives a lot more light than the light that comes with it. That light's a lot more whiter, but this one's brighter, and the plants need that. So, they're doing a lot better. I have this gem in here, which I totally forgot about. And then I have this, kind of geode looking thing. I just thought it was neat, and it was just sitting on a shelf somewhere, so I thought, why not just add it to Hardscape? So I did. There's a plant back here. This guy, I need to cut the top off of it. Here, let's grab that dead leaf off of there. And that guy is actually a decorative bamboo plant, so it's all twisted together, you know, it's 4 or 5 bamboo stalks all twisted together. And I just put that in for height. I almost want to just take it out because it is getting so squished up at the top. And I've cut it back a couple times and it just took off still. And I'm thinking about getting a small ficus to replace it. I've had ficus in the past, and I really liked them. They do really well in vivarium situations, as long as you keep them cut back. If you let them go nuts, then they go nuts, but if you take care of them properly, then they do good. I have this. It's Exoterra gecko ledge. And it's got, when you buy it, it's got this hook thing on the back. I don't know if you can see that bar, but it like snaps into place, and it has an adhesive strip on the back of it. That adhesive strip is like a one-time use. Like after you use it, you can't pick it up and move it. So if you put it down crooked, it's crooked. Or if you want to move it to a totally different spot, you're screwed. So when I did have to move it, I found that out, and instead of just throwing it away, I was like, there's gotta be a way that I can salvage this. And so what I did is I took some Velcro. This is command strip Velcro, and I just cut it in 2 small strips and Velcroed it. So when I have to clean it, I can take it off, clean it, and it snaps right back on. The only downside to the Velcro is you don't have enough leverage if it's over here. I did have it over here. It is very hard to get the Velcro to snap back in place, because you can't just push it from the front. You're pushing it from the side, and there's not enough force for you to push it. So I have it on this door. It's not the most attractive thing on the door, and I probably should have used black Velcro, but I didn't have any at the time. But it does work. I may get some black Velcro later and replace it, but if it works, don't fix it, right? So I have that. I have this piece of wood. It's floating. There's a plastic-covered twist tie up here, and the reason I used a plastic-covered twist tie is because this did have a tree frog in it at one point. And I didn't want the twist tie to rust or anything, so we used the plastic covered one. And it goes up through the mesh and attaches to this bracing stick. Originally it was just through the mesh, but it pulled the mesh down so far, I thought it was going to rip it. And since candy is pretty hefty, then I didn't want it to, like, rip all the way. So, I put this small bracing stick over it. Her humidity is kind of low right now. I need to spray it. But yeah. There's also a bromeliad in the back, which is where Miss Candy's at. I don't know if I went over that yet. She's chilling out back there. She likes to come and she'll sit on this rock and then stalk everything that moves. And then I have this. This is actually homemade. I bought some plants and a glass air plant dome thing. It's like almost looks like an ornament with just a hole in the front of it. And I took those plants and hot glued them all around the top and the sides and even the bottom of the dome. And there's even some of them inside of it, just so she's not laying just straight on cold glass all the time. And then I took green paint on the inside. It's just non-toxic acrylic paint, so it's not going to make her sick, and darkened it. I originally didn't do the paint. I had thought about it just because the plants don't quite black out the light, but she wouldn't use it. So I put the green in there. It's just green paint. And she likes it a lot better. It's probably one of the darkest places in there. This looks pretty cruddy right now with all this leaf litter and poop. It's hard to find all her poop. So I have a plan. I have them on back order right now, and this weekend I will be purchasing some Dalmatian isopods to go in here. I think I'm going to purchase the Dalmatian isopods and culture them, have a culture going, because they're really, really pretty. But you only get 5 of them when you order them. And I feel like if I put all 5 of them in here, they're going to get lost or eaten. So I think I might get some just normal wild type, the gray isopods or roly-polies, to stock this tank for now until I get my Dalmatian culture going, which is going to be really cool. So that's in the making. And the normal isopods, you can get like 30 of them for $12. Whereas Dalmatian, you pay $30 for 5 of them. But they're really pretty. And I'll probably end up with some of the orange smoothie isopods later on because my husband really liked them. So yeah, there's my vivarium. Yeah, it's doing well. I had to replace the lighting. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Because after I took my nullies out, then the plants kind of just went, they looked really sad. So I figured they needed some more lighting. But, yeah, so I have pothos. I think it's English ivy. I thought it was maybe a dwarf species of pothos, but I really think it's English ivy. A bromeliad, and then bamboo in here. Bamboo. It's not real bamboo. It's something else. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's not actually bamboo. But, yeah, this tank's doing really good. There's also some moss coverage. This right here, this dirt, is pretty much all the dirt that you see. The rest of it is covered by moss. But she's back there hanging out. She is so cute. I just sprayed her so she's licking everything. Yep. So if anybody has any questions or anything, or wants to ask me about any of my other enclosures of my other animals, then feel free to comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.